back to another episode of Can I Kick It? USA Taekwondo's podcast. We are your hosts, Sherman Nelson, Jason Poos, and Can I Kick It is brought to you by the good people at Tusa and US Performance Center. Jason, team trials. It's been a weekend.
Just finished with, in my opinion, the greatest team trials competition I've ever seen.
Oh, really? The greatest ever?
It's ever. Team trials. Olympic team trials. It's the greatest ever.
All right.
This is a guy who's been in this organization since the 80s. That's the greatest team trials I've ever seen.
Okay.
That's a large statement. I can
factually
back it up with match after match after match, round after round after round, kick after kick after kick, if you like.
We did have our Olympic divisions go 3 matches each, and it was a thing.
Yeah, one, it speaks to the competitive depth that we've been looking for.
Yeah,
and it really shows, because that wasn't just walkovers. Those were 3 matches, like you talked about, in both of those divisions, and it was 3 rounds, and practically all of them, and it was winning the first round, losing the next 2. Right. So there wasn't like the confidence was there to go out and I won the first round. This is going to be a cakewalk. It wasn't like that. And keep in mind, you've got Grand Prix medalists,
right?
World champions, Olympic gold medalist champions, and the most relentless 18-year-old I've maybe ever seen in my life. Right?
Baby Wolverine.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you put that all in there, then you get what we got.
Yeah.
And if you didn't get to see it, you need to find it and watch it because it is amazing. I'm so impressed with everybody. And congratulations to all 4 of those elite athletes.
Yeah.
Christina and Faith, you're moving on.
Yeah, congratulations to Christina Teachout in women's minus 67, Faith Dillon in women's minus 57. They will be going to the Dominican Republic this April to try to qualify the United States and themselves for the 2024 Games in Paris. It is... and we talked to each of them. It's the biggest moment of their careers thus far. And we like to be present to where they are right now. It's not the biggest match they'll ever face, because if they make it to the Olympics, trust me, the ante is upped. Because
right.
You've been there as a coach. I've been in the gymnasium just sitting there, and it is like, oh, I need another bottle of water. I don't know why my throat's so dry, because the pressure is palpable. And you know my thoughts on pressure?
I do.
Give it to me.
You really want me to give it to you?
I want it. I want the whole thing.
Oh, pressure can make diamonds. Pressure can also bust pipes.
Listen, it makes diamonds and bust pipes. So, but kudos to them because they rose to the occasion. And I said to Steve, the winner here is the United States, because we're sending a capable person to the Dominican Republic to qualify us. Jonathan Healy, our men's plus 80, didn't have to compete because he was the only one eligible. So he will be going to the Dominican Republic. And there's this other kid, RJ? No, that's not right.
DJ.
No. I think it's CJ Nicholas has qualified himself because he's ranked number 2 on the whole earth in World Taekwondo. So he'll be going because he's there to cheer his teammates.
Right.
And hopefully we can walk out of there with 4 Olympians, and then it's about Paris. So we're excited about the Olympic trial results, but those weren't the only trials.
No, you're right. We have Pumse team trials. Yep. For basically cadet and up.
Pumse World Championships is coming up this year.
In Hong Kong. Yeah, later this year. And of course, we had the cadet junior and then the senior Pan American Championships trials, which was really interesting.
Right.
Those are very interesting. And the format was different. And different based on if you had some success, you got to wait and compete against guys that didn't or females that didn't have the success, right? They had to earn their way to you. And I found it interesting early in the competition, the people that sat around and waited, they have a massive advantage. They're going to win.
Right.
They didn't.
No.
I felt like they weren't ready for that.
Listen, I came to the holding area and Harold said a lot of the people who were waiting they going home now because
Right.
they weren't warm and they weren't hyped and their endorphins, their arousal level wasn't high enough. And it's, at the end of the day, we couldn't predict with 100% certainty who would win each division.
Right.
And that's what we want our team trials to be.
Yeah, again, it speaks to the depth.
Right.
Like, we have a great competitive depth in those divisions. And it also speaks to the fact that sometimes and we're going to talk about it, I think down the line, is you get that first match or two under your belt, you get a little confidence,
Right.
you get moving a little bit. And as a fighter, my first match was typically pretty poor. So now you look back at it and you say, well, that was the case. Also, you had, in the junior division, you had some cadets come up and say, I'm here, I've arrived, I'll take that spot.
Right.
And then, conversely, you go to the seniors, you had a bunch of juniors fighting in that senior spot, and there were a handful that acquitted themselves amazingly well. I mean, that was really, really, to me, kind of showing the what we think is the future of USA Taekwondo.
Right. So what we had, and you're a better historian. We need Rex Hatfield, right?
Yeah, we do.
Be able to tell us. But we had a junior win the junior male championship, and then compete in seniors and get a silver medal. And I'm trying to remember, when was the last male that was both the junior national team member and the senior national team member?
I'm not sure, did Melvy do that? I'm not sure if Melvy Alvarez did that or not. I don't know.
It would likely be in a lighter weight, though.
Yeah, Finland's
because I doubt there were a lot of heavyweights where you have a 17-year-old boy fighting 24, 25, 26-year-old men in heavyweight. But we'll do some research. Maybe we can post that fun fact.
Oh yeah, we can find it. We can find it for sure.
Listen, we've got a lot more coming up in this episode. We're gonna take a quick break and then we'll be right back. This is Sherman. That's Jason, and we're out.
And I'm back. Can I kick it with Christina Teachout, our champion in the minus 67 kilogram? Look, that's the Olympic qualification process, and you went through step one. So, how you feel about this win first?
I feel good. It was really good. It was a good experience because of the pressure of the event. I fought Anna, which I just test matched her last month, but it was like my emotions were so high, and I think that's really good preparation for what's to come for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you're fighting an Olympic gold medalist, right?
Yeah.
I know it's a different weight category. You guys are teammates. You have a lot of, camaraderie probably with one another and train with one another. But ultimately, you have to go out there and win.
Yeah.
It goes 3 matches, and similar. You're not winning every round, right? So you lose the first round, and you come back and win the next 2, and then maybe vice versa on the other side. How are you able to keep your composure between matches and know that what you do well will work ultimately in the end?
Yeah. So I think between Pan Am Games, which was like how long ago? Like 3 months?
Right.
Yeah, between Pan Am Games and when I fought, I was doing a lot of mental work outside of sport because just looking back on all my performances, a lot of the reasons why I underperformed was because of my mentality. And so I knew that coming in here that if I was on my mental game like 100, like I knew the only person that could beat me would be myself. So one of my main focuses was to stay mentally strong, and I wanted to force so much pressure on her. Wait, hold on. Sorry, that didn't make sense.
Oh, it did. It did make sense. And I'll tell you this. Like, your relentless style,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, we want everyone to be that, just so you know. Not just, like, fighters, but we want everyone in any sport to have that kind of relentless style.
Mm-hmm.
But you got down big.
Yeah.
And how did you know that your style, which is relentless, and you continue to attack, how did you know that was going to work and come back and win these matches? Did you?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it before all this year. Like I've been at points where there's been a major gap, but when I persist, and it's like you get into like a state of flow. Like I think I do good under pressure, and the main reason why I win against girls is because I put so much pressure on them that it like breaks them. You know what I mean? I wear them down, and then that's where I think I differentiate from like the rest of the girls in the division.
Oh, you wore down.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question about it. We're talking about a world Olympic medalist, right?
Mm-hmm.
You wore her down, And in the process of doing that, I mean, you still had to make sure that you weren't getting scored on her by her. And honestly,
You
early
did a
on,
very good job.
but early on, you didn't. You're right.
Yeah.
She was able to hit the front of that hook kick
Uh-huh.
consistently. But some major adjustments by you
Mm-hmm.
in second, third match that can start covering that better, to start realizing those are hitting, and still not changing who you are as a player.
Yeah.
Right. So is that something that Gareth Brown, your coach, is that something that he says, look, this is what you're going to do, this is what you do best, and it's going to work on everybody?
Yeah, so going in, I had we just dumbed it down to I had 3 tactics and focuses I had 3 tactics that I wanted to focus on.
Okay.
Honestly, I didn't make a lot of tactical gains over this weekend, but I made a lot of mental gains because a few months ago, if I were to be put under those situations, just losing and then having to come back and get it again, I don't know if I would have been able to keep my composure, but that was where I saw the most growth. Not so much tactically, but mentally. So I'll take it for what it is and move on,
Oh, you should. You're 18 years old.
Yeah.
You've got time. You're going to only improve. The pressure that you felt in this, is that the most pressure you felt in any competition to date?
I think I think pressure isn't the right word, but I think emotional, definitely. There was a few times that I can recall, and if you put up the footage, I could pinpoint when I started to feel, I felt really emotional. I wanted to I just wanted to I started getting really, really frustrated. My emotions were like this, because I was like, oh my god, I want this. What am I doing? It was just, it was a lot.
Well, it didn't show. You didn't look emotional. You just look like you, the relentless fighter who's not going to stop until she gets what she wants.
It was more so when I went off my tactic. Knowing myself, I can tell when I went off my tactic. That is when I went emotional. That's when I got sloppy or third fight going into the second round. All of a sudden, I backtracked from my first round of the third fight. But I can tell right there, I got emotional. I got anxious, and then that's when I came off.
Yeah, and you check those emotions well. How are you going to be able to keep those in check? Because you're going to do this again in just a few months, and an Olympic spot's on the line. I mean, it was obviously this weekend, but it's literally on the line. And look, I've kind of been in your shoes as the coach, not the player.
Yeah.
The pressure is going to be, or the emotional pressure, as you called it, is going to be elevated even more.
Yeah.
How are you going to be able to check it?
I think that I'm meeting with my coaches and everyone today to kind of go over what my schedule is going to look like between now and the qualifier. But I think the most important thing for me is to go out there and fight, because I can sit back here and I can do all the mental practice. I can do that in training. But when you get into the ring, there are so many factors that come up that it's just so different. So I think for me, I just need to fight as much as I can between now and the qualifier, so I can start implementing the things that I'm doing out of training into the ring.
Yeah, it's a mental game, and you talked about it. You talked about your relentless game, your style. All of that is so impressive. If you can lock yourself in mentally, I think you can win the Olympics. I want to congratulate you on your spot to go to Dominican Republic and do that. And as I said to other fighters that I really, really am impressed with, I love watching Taekwondo, but more than that, I love watching people fight. And you go out there and fight. And right now, you may be my most favorite fighter to watch any day and every day. So congratulations. Good luck in Dominican Republic. We're going to be there. I know you're going to do it, win that gold medal. So congratulations,
Thank
Kristina.
you. Thank you.
All right, and we are back. Thank you for joining us. This is Can I Kick It, USA Taekwondo's podcast, brought to you by the good people at TUSA and U.S. Performance Center. Jay, you had a fun little chat with Baby Wolverine,
Yes.
Christina Teachout. She is such a ball of energy.
Yeah, really intense. Just intense in everything she does, and obviously it shows up on the map. But I couldn't be more proud of a U.S. athlete, the youngest one we have that's going to compete here in a while at 18. At least this Olympic,
Right?
Set up at 18 years old, and I'm pleased to get an opportunity to hang out with her. She's fun.
She's a great young person.
Fun.
A wonderful fighter. Again, like you said in your segment with her, we like to see people fight. And you are not going to watch a Christina Teachout fight and be like, why aren't you fighting?
Right.
You're not going
Stop
to
standing around doing
What
nothing.
you're going to say is, oh my God, stop fighting her.
Yeah.
Right. Because she's in the stands now. So she carries it all the way through. Kudos to her and to her family. We wish her the best
Right.
at the Pan American qualifiers. This week we unveiled the ops program. And we have a video that kind of tells you a little bit about what ops is all about. It was a name that was given out maybe 2018.
Right.
I want to say it was after 2017. So 2018, about the burgeoning academy. And it was used as a pejorative originally.
Right.
By some disgruntled coaches who felt that the academy athletes were doing secret things that everybody else couldn't do. And they wore it as a badge of honor. But then over time we said, listen, we don't want to engage in perpetuating a false narrative. So we let the name die.
Right.
About a year or so ago, we were at a Grand Prix and we were like, how do we bring all our national teams together? It's Poomsae sparring across all the age ranges. How do we create a coalition where we are just one team with one sound? You could always say Team USA. But technically Team USA belongs to the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Center. So they use that name for everybody.
Right.
And so we said, we think we're going to bring ops back. Went back and forth with the CEO about whether we're going to be black ops or special ops. And so we settled on ops, which is the national team program. We went with the color black because black is all the colors together. So we want to bring all the teams together. And it was met with a lot of success. The kids were excited. They got some stuff. They're taking some stuff home. They're going to get some more stuff shipped out. The national teams will be outfitted in a way that is clear. They'll be outfitted with stuff that the average practitioner can't purchase.
Right.
So that they have some exclusivity. And it's not to keep anybody out. It's to celebrate who's in. We have, go to the Ops Instagram page and subscribe and follow, do whatever. We're going to create a social media buzz and phenomenon featuring those athletes who are doing amazing things. We spent a lot of time trying to compile clips from this weekend. Now we have to go back and edit all those
and
clips.
we got a lot of clips too.
It's a lot of stuff.
You know what I noticed is the embraciveness of that. Like they really embraced the fact that we're all the teams are together now.
Right.
And that was something that like we did but we didn't. And I've been around long enough to know that you have this national team, you have this national team, you have this cadet national team, the Poomsae national team, and they're all our USA Taekwondo national teams, and we're happy for all of you, and we're all in this together. Never did I see this kind of cohesiveness of a group of all different disciplines and ages making national teams. So congratulations to Ops because I saw it firsthand, and I've been here since the dawn of time.
Right.
And I was
literally.
and I was impressed, and I was excited. And you know what? Those hoodies were a hit.
Yeah, apparently the hoodies are it's on everybody's Christmas list. So
no doubt.
But again, it is not for because there are already counter narratives being offered up, as there will always be. And so again, I want you to hear it from the persons who generated it and the persons who re-implemented it. The point of it is to bring our athletes together, bring our national teams together so that we can go out and be mission focused, and that's what it's all about. So kudos to you guys. There is a video out. You can check that out on YouTube. It'll be on Instagram. It'll be on all our social media platforms. There's one other fantastic thing that happened this weekend. Cowboys locked up the number 2 seed. How about the boys?
I wouldn't necessarily call that fantastic.
Well, for me it is, yeah.
But I will say that they looked impressive in their win against the high-level commanders. The playoffs are amazing.
Leave the salamanders alone.
They're
going through an identity crisis right now.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see can Philadelphia turn this around after 5 straight losses because they are literally not keeping the main thing like Jalen Hurts said early on. And on the other side,
Go ahead and mention you.
Oh,
you didn't wear your Raven shirt today.
I got it underneath. So I'll be interested to see can the Ravens turn it on, taking 3 weeks off. So
it's going to be exciting. Wild Card Weekend is next week. Tune in. I hope your favorite team wins. We get excited talking about football. We talk about all sports, actually, not just
absolutely.
football. And we are fans without being fanatics, because we're not getting a salary from the Ravens or the Cowboys. So
Correct.
it's not that serious.
But I'm not up to taking a salary if you want to give me one.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to be an ambassador, a brand ambassador for the Cowboys. AT&T, listen, we need to try to get AT&T to be a sponsor for USA Taekwondo.
Absolutely.
You still got Jerry's number?
I'll find it.
Okay, go ahead and give him a call. See what he has to say. All right. Now that Jimmy's in the ring, maybe Jimmy can come in with the hair that don't move, and maybe he can be a sponsor too.
Well, we would take him.
Listen, USA Taekwondo family, we love y'all. This is Sherman and Jason. This is Can I Kick It? And the answer is always
Yes, you can.